Mississippi State breaks the losing streak. Freshman Michael Van Buren Jr. leads the Bulldogs to a 45-20 comeback win over UMass. Highlights are next.
Mississippi State's Bulldogs kicked off Season 3 under Coach Chris Jans by sinking 14 three-pointers in a commanding 95-60 victory over West Georgia. We have a report from courtside coming up. Welcome to the Sports Effect. I'm Matt Inman.
And I'm Kelsey Danley. The Mississippi State's women's soccer team scored an amazing goal in double overtime to advance in the SEC tournament. Mallory Morrow will have a breakdown of the game later in the show.
But we start with Mississippi State's football game Saturday. Mississippi State roars back to a life with a commanding 45-20 victory over UMass on Saturday.
Freshman quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr. electrified, accounting for 3 touchdowns and erasing an early 10-0 defect. Tierra Tidwell has more on how the team felt after finally getting back in the win column.
Just a happy locker room. We're going to continue to talk about that. And for our guys, man, just being able to experience a win and being able to feel good.
This is what head football coach Jeff Lebby says about the team's locker room after a big and much-needed win for the Bulldogs. Mississippi State took on the UMass Minutemen Saturday in Davis-Wade Stadium, looking to get their first win since week 1 of the season. The Bulldogs did just that, dominating UMass 45-20 for the win. Mississippi State's dominance wasn't established right away, with the Bulldogs being down 0-10 at the end of the first quarter. They would then go on to score 35 unanswered points in the second and third quarters. True freshman quarterback Michael Van Buren Jr. passed for 222 yards and a touchdown and also had 2 rushing touchdowns. Wide receiver Jordan Mosley had 5 receptions for a season-high 107 yards. He says Coach Lebby's main message to the team has been to go out and take it and play for each other.
Offensively, we know that each and every week we got to come out and give our best every single week. So we just wanted to play complementary football every single down. Defense came out there, Barlow got to take away. We wanted to be able to capitalize off that. So it was just kind of being there for each and every one of us, playing for each other, and then players just happy when you play for each other. So that was just the fun part, just watching our all just come together.
The Bulldogs look to keep their momentum as they hit the road and head into next week's matchup against the Tennessee Volunteers. With the Sports Effect, I'm Tierra Tidwell.
Thanks, Tierra. All right, y'all, welcome to the first 4. 4 debaters, 4 minutes, 2 big questions, and only 2 of you are moving on. With the locker room buzzing and the team showing a resurgence on both sides of the ball, it's time to dive deeper into what this win means for Mississippi State moving forward.
Here's the debate question. After Saturday's victory, has your outlook on the Bulldogs defense or the rest of the season changed?
Well, guys, after this weekend, I really feel like this team is starting to come together as one unit. Specifically on the offensive side of the ball, we've seen what they can do over the last few weeks against teams like Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, having to face them back-to-back weeks. Obviously, tough loss against Arkansas, but you got back on track against UMass. The offense ranks 7th in the conference now in passing efficiency. Michael Van Buren, freshman quarterback, was first committed to Oregon, decided to come to Mississippi State, and he has been excellent in replacing Blake Shapen at the helm for Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby has really gotten this offense going, and I feel like the defense is starting to see some improvement, specifically in the secondary. I think Isaac Smith is one of the best young safeties in the Southeastern Conference. Tough schedule remaining. You got to go to Tennessee this weekend. That's going to be a tough matchup. But you have an opportunity. Missouri at home in a couple of weeks with Brady Cook being injured the last few weeks. It's going to be doubtable to see if he's going to be playing against Mississippi State here in a couple of weeks, and I think that's going to be the opportunity for Mississippi State to sneak a win. And obviously you have Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl rivalry game. Anything can happen in rivalry games, and I feel like Mississippi State is really going to come together, and they're going to pull out a couple of these wins here at the end of the season.
I definitely felt like that we allowed too many points to UMass. I felt like it should have been 45-3 instead of 45-20. But at the end of the day, we got the win. We're 2-7 now. We got off the 1-win season, and I felt like our offense did good. Our defense just didn't hold up like I'd hoped we did. We've got, like you said, a tough schedule coming up. I feel like there's no chance we're going to Neyland and win. There's no chance we win that ball game. I do agree, however, on the Missouri game. I think we got a chance. Starkville's a tough place to play. We can get our fans out there. I think we have a chance. And then we play the Egg Bowl. Yep. The Egg Bowl, you never know in the Egg Bowl. I feel like if we bring it, we have a chance. I definitely think Ole Miss is good, but I don't count the Dogs out in the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, well, I know we can give our little round of applause about the recent win, but our season is over, unfortunately. Like he said, we gave way too many points to UMass, letting them almost rush for over 200 yards, which is not the first game that has happened. And going against superior ACC teams like Tennessee, like Missouri, and Ole Miss, you can't come around and let them just run down your throat like that. And so I feel like our season over. It's possible that we may come close to Ole Miss just because it's a rivalry game. We can at least have some kind of respect and play with everything we got our last game of the season. But other than that, I feel like our season over. But like I said, we can round of applause this recent win. You know, we're finally back in the winning side. But other than that, yeah, we're over.
I do agree with Anthony. We have an all-new team, all-new coach. I feel that we're the same team since the start of the season. There's really no coming back. Just because we won against UMass, that was an easy team to win against. This doesn't mean that the whole outlook is any different than it was at the beginning. The Ole Miss game, yeah, we might have a chance because it is a big rivalry game. And if we are to win one, we would win that one because State would bring it. But other than that, I think we're done for.
And I'm going to have to completely respectfully disagree with both Raylan and Anthony's points. I really feel like this team is coming together as one unit. And honestly, I think it's a shame that there are some people that provide some negativity towards this team because this is a brand new team. Like we've mentioned before on the show, 16 of 22 starters are either freshmen or sophomores. Specifically on that defensive side of the ball, you have a lot of freshmen and sophomores starting. And again, a lot of youth on that team. I feel like Coleman Hutzler is really going to get this team together. Again, you have to give them time to develop their talent. And I feel like, you know, there's been signs over the last few weeks of this team improving specifically on that defensive side of the ball again. Defensive line has had some question marks. You've had a lot of injuries and hits to that defensive line, and the secondary has really stepped up in its place. I mean, you look at Isaac Smith, who leads the league in tackles, and you have Stone Blanton at linebacker. He's a senior, came here from South Carolina, always been a Mississippi State guy, but he's finally here in Starkville. He ranks second in the SEC in tackles, and I really feel like there's hope for this team over the next few games.
Well, yeah, Dylan, I feel like you'll be a great motivational speaker, but we got to take it like it is. Right now, our season is over. We allow too many yards of play to actually really compete with a team. And yes, you know, we can look at this win. We can look at the win we had over a month ago. But when you go against teams like Missouri, Tennessee, Ole Miss, you have to come with it. You have to be competitive. And our season is over, unfortunately.
It's not over, guys. Y'all stay tuned.
Thanks, debaters. The Mississippi State men's basketball team's season is off to a dominating start. Anthony Jenkins was at the game and breaks it all down for us.
Mississippi State made their return in style at the hump this week. The Bulldogs defeated West Georgia with a final score of 95-60. Transfer Claudell Harris Jr. put on a show in his debut, scoring 20 points off the bench and went 60% from the three-point line. He says the first game experience was everything he looked for as a Bulldog.
It was a great experience. You know, the fans came out, supported. Great student section. You know, they really set the tone for us. You know, gave us a confidence boost. That's why I was able to come off the bench and, you know, trust my work.
The returning players also got to show their talents, with Josh Hubbard scoring 26 points and went 6 from 7 at the three-point line. Claudell Harris says he expects great success when he and Hubbard are hot behind the arc.
Me and Josh, we have a great relationship on and off the court. As y'all can see, you know, we talk to each other the whole game, and nights like this, when he's hot and I'm hot, it's hard to stop.
The team shot nearly 47% from the three, which is a huge increase from last season's three-point percentage. Head coach Chris Jans says he was happy to see the threes falling in their season opener.
We've been talking about we're going to be able to shoot the ball, you know, better this year. I don't know the numbers. Maybe Matt does. He's smarter than me, and it's his job. Now, I'm not saying we're going to make 14 threes every single night, but it's nice to know that, you know, the recruiting paid off and we got more guys that are capable of you know, turning the scoreboard and helping us offensively.
Reporting for The Sports Effect, I am Anthony Jenkins Jr.
You may have not noticed, but Mississippi State has had a streak going on with its athletics, and hopefully our women's basketball team can continue it tomorrow night in their tip-off against the Memphis Tigers.
That's right, Matt. Every team under the Mississippi State umbrella has won the first game of their season. To make sure this continues, our women's basketball team got out there this past weekend to meet with season ticket holders to ensure the hump is packed for opening night. Their efforts didn't stop there, with the team taking into action supporting our Gridiron gang this past Saturday to build anticipation for the game. It will be our Mississippi State Bulldogs with head coach Sam Purcell trying to bounce back after a disappointing season, taking on the Memphis Tigers at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night in the Hump Coliseum.
Now back to one of the best soccer teams in the nation. MSU won its last regular season game and is currently at the SEC tournament.
After the break, we have more on the team's ending to the regular season and how the team is doing at the SEC tournament.
Discovery. It tells our history and determines our future. At Mississippi State University, we're digging deep, unlocking an understanding of our past, validating it. Middle East exploration by faculty and students is uncovering evidence that unravels ancient mysteries. Scholars have long thought of the biblical kings David and Solomon as mythological figures. Our research offers evidence that supports their existence, boosting MSU into an international league of experts on archaeology. Now we're changing the way people think about the past, opening up new possibilities of understanding for future generations. Digging deeper, learning more. When it comes to making the world a better place, it's all in the numbers at Mississippi State University. Our big data science researchers are creating astonishing new algorithms to model human behavior and consumer activity to identify anomalous purchasing patterns. Interpreting the data creates heat maps that can signal fraudulent activity and even predict likely cybercrime locations and perpetrators. And as the only academic institution to team with a state-level DHS agency in the study of transactional data of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, MSU is helping prevent misuse while ensuring that benefits are being used as intended. These successes are opening doors for similar research partnerships with banking, insurance, credit card, and other data-intensive industries, leading to consumer confidence in online and other transactions. Making numbers count. Mississippi State University.
All right, let's get to it. The MSU soccer team's magical seasons continue after a remarkable ending to the regular season.
Mallory Morrow is in the newsroom with more on the Bulldogs.
MSU soccer wrapped up the regular season with an incredible second-half comeback, beating South Carolina 2-1. Goals were scored by senior midfielder Hannah Johnson and freshman midfielder Kennedy Husbands. The Bulldogs finished the regular season 10-0 in the SEC and 16-1 overall. This week, the team is in Pensacola for the SEC tournament as the 1 seed. The Bulldogs got a first-round bye and played their first game Tuesday against the Tennessee Volunteers. The game was a thriller going into double overtime, with MSU coming out victorious 2-1. Goals were scored by senior midfielder Hannah Johnson and senior forward Aitana Martinez-Montoya. The Bulldogs look to defeat South Carolina once again Thursday in hopes of strengthening their bid to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Reporting for the Sports Effect, I am Mallory Morrow.
Let's dive into some college football with some big upsets that happened this weekend. Starting off with this huge upset with Texas A&M and South Carolina, freshman quarterback Lenore Sellers getting a feel of that A&M defense by escaping a sack, leading up to the first touchdown of the game by Sellers, then a touchdown by Joshua Simon, leading up to 2 touchdowns within 7 minutes into the first quarter. A&M trying to build some momentum, immediately getting to the 4th down and settled for a field goal. Rocket Sanders putting the fuel on the cleats, running it in before going out of bounds, which did not give Carolina the touchdown they needed. And look at this, Amari Sanders running a 57-yard touchdown for A&M, putting them up on the scoreboard, trying to hang on tight. Second half, A&M and Carolina is tied, but it doesn't last long for Rocket Sanders to run a 52-yard touchdown, making it 27-20. Throughout the second half, Carolina truly being unstoppable, getting a major win against A&M and have fun celebrating in the locker room with some good old Fantasia. Hopefully next time we see you, Carolina, getting some more dubs. South Carolina 44 and Texas A&M 20.
Let's head up to Beaver Stadium to look at this top 5 matchup between number 3 ranked Penn State and number 4 ranked Ohio State. Will Howard starts his day off not to a good start, throwing a pick 6 to Zion Tracy, which was his first interception on the season for the sophomore. And then on the next play, Howard drops back, scanning for a receiver, and finds Emeka Egbuka for the 34-yard touchdown, and he had a little celebration for the Penn State fans. Will Howard gets the snap and fakes a toss to the running back and finds his tight end in the flats, and he gets a big touchdown to give Ohio State the lead 14-10, and there wasn't really much left in the game. The final score was 20-13.
Well, let's take a trip back to 305 to the now number 4 Miami versus Duke this past weekend. And look at this, Chris Johnson once again starting off strong with the 32-yard rush, then gets tackled. Not even 2 minutes since the game started. Heisman prospect Cam Ward throwing it long for a Miami touchdown. Throughout the first half, you can see Duke dominating the field, trying to create a major upset to undefeated Miami. Now going into second half, Duke is leading the score just by 3. The pressure started to get to quarterback Cam Ward, who got tackled many times, leaving Miami to just get a field goal. Duke's quarterback Malik Murphy throwing it long for a Duke touchdown, and look at this, Matt, touchdown after touchdown. Now Malik throws it to Jordan Moore for a 6-yard touchdown, talking to the camera to let his mom know that he loves him. Well, I guess somebody needs to check up on Mama Moore after the beatdown, which led to Miami starting picking up the slack, leading up to another win and remaining undefeated. Miami 53 and Duke 31.
Now we head to the Great Lakes to watch last year's national champs take on this year's number 1 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks get off to a great start on their first drive of the game with Dylan Gabriel throwing a bullet to Evan Stewart for 6. The next possession, Michigan comes down and scores a touchdown of their own with QB Davis Warren rolling out and finally finding Tyler Morris with an amazing catch for the touchdown. 40 seconds before halftime, Dylan Gabriel drops back and takes off straight up the middle for a 25-yard score to put Oregon in the lead 28-10 at halftime. Michigan tries to rally a comeback with this 17-yard touchdown pass by Davis Warren to Peyton O'Leary, but they end up coming short because Dylan James seals the game with this 2-yard run into the end zone, with the final score Oregon 38 and Michigan 17.
Now let's go to the home of the Hogs in Fayetteville, Arkansas, who got that hottie toddy over the weekend. QB Taylor Green throwing it to Jordan Anthony, getting a first down, but just could not get the momentum coming for a touchdown. AP of the week, QB Jackson Dart, who recently just topped Peyton Manning's record for 562 yards, trying to put some numbers on the board, throwing it to Juice Wells for a first down. Dart throwing it for a touchdown, which resulted into a fumble, then scooped, then scored, making it 7-0. Quarterback Jalen Green trying to run it in, and he gets fumbled. These players are having some real butterfingers, man. Going into the second half, Ole Miss leading by 11. Green starts to feel the pressure, which resulted into a sack by Harris. Jordan Watkins starts to put in some numbers with his 3rd touchdown of the day. Now look at Dart running it in to be inside the 5, leading to another touchdown, which resulted in a huge dub against Arkansas. Ole Miss 63 and Arkansas 31.
Let's head down south to Vol Nation in Knoxville, Tennessee, as they match up against the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky strikes first light in the first quarter with a quick pass from Brock Vandegrift to Josh Caddis for a 34-yard house call. Now late in the second quarter, Tennessee has the ball on the 1-yard line and Peyton Lewis runs it in to tie the game up 7-7. Coming out of halftime, Kentucky has possession, but Tennessee has other things in mind by getting a strip sack and taking control of this game. Tennessee ended up getting good field position, and Dylan Sampson breaks a few tackles as he runs in the 7-yard touchdown to take the lead over Kentucky 14-10. Tennessee scores again late in the third with Nico rolling out and finding his Miles Kitzelman in the back of the end zone to give them the 2-possession lead going into the fourth quarter as they hold off the Wildcats. Final score, Tennessee 28, Kentucky 18.
All right, you guys, after the break, we're going to go to the doghouse. Stay tuned.
The sense of place. We all have it. Often grown from deep roots in small-town communities. At Mississippi State University, our Carl Small Town Center is strengthening these ties. With nearly 40 years of making a difference, we're revitalizing communities into welcoming places to work, live, and congregate. By weaving together the best pieces of our past with modern technology and amenities, we're creating the hometowns of the future. Places where lifetime memories can be made, where you have all the things you need, along with all the things you want. Through partnerships with our communities, we're identifying improvement opportunities, recommending paths forward, and creating the plans for a better tomorrow.
Welcome back. Now it's time to find out who was in the doghouse this week.
Cody Reagan has more. Cody?
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of In the Doghouse. My name is Cody Rigdon and this week I'll be putting two Louisiana coaches, well technically one former Louisiana coach, in the doghouse. Let's start off with ULM's assistant coach, Cameron Blankenship. On Saturday, ULM played Marshall. During this game, Coach Blankenship smashes the headset on the ground and starts yelling and pushing number 64, Drew Hutchinson. Player had to step in between them and separate them. I understand coaches are supposed to be strict, but this behavior is just unacceptable.
No.
Now I'd like to talk about former Saints head coach Dennis Allen. Monday, the Saints announced they had fired Allen. As a Saints fan, I've tried my hardest not to put them in the doghouse, but this gives me a loophole. After 7 consecutive losses, with our latest loss being against the Panthers, like, are you for real, the Panthers? It was about time that we got rid of them. I hope that New Orleans can get everything right and we get the right people hired.
I'm sorry, you're fired. Get out of here.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's segment of In the Doghouse. Row, row.
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs football team will be on the road facing the University of Tennessee Saturday.
It's another game for MSU against a top team. UT is ranked number 7th in the college football playoffs poll. Coach Levy says it will be a tough game in a tough environment, but his team has been getting used to tough games since Michael Van Buren took over as starting quarterback.
For us, so many young guys playing, especially on the offensive side of the ball, but our guys understanding with the crowd noise, the environment, that part of it creates strain and creates stress. We've done a better job, I thought, week 2, at Georgia than we did the week before in Austin. We need to be able to carry that growth over because, again, the setting, the environment, night game, it'll be an electric atmosphere.
All right, you guys, our Mississippi State football team will be facing the University of Tennessee this Saturday at 6 o'clock, and you do not want to miss it.
And after the break, we have our Final Four coming up.
At Mississippi State University, student-led teams are taking one of the country's biggest health issues to heart. Out to unravel one of science's unsolved mysteries, researchers in MSU's Department of Agriculture and Biological Engineering are asking why and when healthy cells in human arteries can begin changing into bone-like structures that hamper blood flow. This calcification contributes to strokes and heart attacks, 2 leading causes of death in Mississippi. As part of their groundbreaking research, students are designing a 3D model that allows them to understand how arteries act within the body and what changes them. By recreating what is happening at the cellular level, researchers are pursuing ways to stop and reverse the process of calcification. Testing treatments could lead to new solutions, helping reduce the number of people struggling with the effects of poor heart health, and ultimately saving lives. Mississippi State University, getting to the heart of better health for Mississippians.
And we are back here at the Final Four debate. 4 debaters, but only 2 just made it. I'm Kelsey Dale, and I'm with
Anthony Jenkins.
Dylan Flippo.
And I'm so excited to have you guys, boys. So let's get into it. I want to know all your opinions. I want to see the heat coming in. So who do y'all think is the best quarterback in the NFL right now? Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and start it off with you first. I want to know what you're thinking.
Well, my 2 quarterbacks, Kelsey, when you talk about hot, it don't get no hotter than Jared Goff with the Detroit Lions. He has done great work with the Lions. They only have 1 loss for the season. He even had a game where he completed all of his passes, which is unheard of. Don't even think you can do that on Madden. So when you talk about greatness this season, I feel like he is one. But also I have Patrick Mahomes. When you talk about somebody you depend on to get it done, you call number 15 on the Chiefs, and he gets it done every time. You can name any quarterback he's win against, it's over. So them my two quarterbacks based off stats, based off dependability, and getting it done when it needs to get done.
Oh no, Anthony. Oh no, oh no. Hey, did you just pass up Lamar Jackson like that? I mean, we're talking about the reigning MVP of the league. And he's shown up and shown out this year. I don't know if you've been watching, but Lamar Jackson has been undisputably the best quarterback in the NFL this season. He has led the Ravens, only one loss on the season so far. I mean, just incredible work done by Lamar Jackson. And not only that, he has an excellent running back in Derrick Henry to back him up in the backfield. Now, I will go along with Lamar Jackson, and I'm going to say the rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, has outshone Jared Goff and Patrick Mahomes this season in his first year in the NFL. I mean, we're talking about a guy that through his first 5 games had an 85 completion percentage and broke Tom Brady's record. Tom Brady, the undisputed GOAT of the NFL. Now, I'm still trying to recover from the Jared Goff statement, but listen, there's nobody in the NFL at the quarterback position right now that is greater than Lamar Jackson. He's leading in statistical categories through passing, rushing, touchdowns. I mean, this guy is absolutely on fire. QBR, I mean, you name it. He is leading the NFL in every statistical category. I just do not see how you can name Jared Goff as the best quarterback in the NFL tonight.
Well, Dylan, I have been watching. I don't know what you've been watching, but I've been watching Lamar, and he has been doing good. But it's one man that he cannot get it done when he go against two, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Week 1, we all seen it, Thursday Night Football. He didn't get it done. He missed some throws at the clutch time. So when it comes to big games, you need that Lamar to show up. We don't know if he can do that yet. So Patrick Mahomes is over Lamar Jackson. I know stats is everything, but when you talk about head-to-head Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes gets it done. And Jaden Daniels, great year, rookie of the year, making history. But right now, I would not take him over Jared Goff. Jared Goff has done works when it comes to everything stats-wise and team success.
Hold up a second. I mean, we're going over team success here. I mean, here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes, who does he have at the wideout position? That's what I look at. I look at the supporting cast that surrounds these quarterbacks. But not only that, but Patrick Mahomes, I mean, we look at that game against the Ravens. He threw 2 interceptions in that game. He is third in the league in interceptions this year. Patrick Mahomes has not played up to the Patrick Mahomes standard that we've seen in the past. And if we're talking about specifically this season, Lamar Jackson has outshone every single quarterback in the league, and Jaden Daniels is not too far behind him. I mean, as a rookie to come in the league and do what Jaden Daniels is doing, it's unbelievable work. I just completely disagree with the Jared Goff take. I mean, it's unbelievable. Jared Goff is nowhere near the top of the league.
Well, that's all we have for today, you guys. Thank you for such a great debate. We're going to see you next time with the Final Four.